is
So,
asking do
sorry.
you have any writing samples of the soft broad nib, or did you only test the medium?
I've only tested the medium so far. The broad's going to write big, though. I mean, the medium is pretty wet.
So you did a first impression video. We're posting that, what, Thursday?
I don't know exactly what day we're going to post it.
Later in the week.
But I did film it. I did the first impression of the Namiki Falcon.
What was your first impression?
My first impression was that it's not the Noodler's Flex Pen. It's different. Okay, so I don't want everybody to think that it's going to be this real hairline thing that goes to a super broad thing, because that's not exactly what it is. It does have flex to it. You do get some line variation, and so that is true. It's a gold nib, so it writes nice and soft. I like it. It's a very, yeah, see that? That's really cool. It's
more of a semi-flex.
Yeah, in terms of, you know, writing in normal use, I like the Falcon. It writes a little easier. I have some writing there, but it's got somebody's name on it, so I don't want to use that.
Cover the name.
Okay, well, I wasn't really going for a lot of variation on these. But anyway, it's, I mean, I can do a quick writing sample. It writes really wet, which is good, which I like. It's very smooth, too. So you can really kind of cruise while you're writing with it. And it's also kind of neat to draw with it, too. I think that's what a lot of people like to use them for, is sketch artists and watercolor artists and stuff.
How would you compare a soft nib to a flex nib? Is soft more like semi-flex?
Yeah, well, it all depends on who's saying it, you know. Softness and flex, they're not real scientific terms. They're kind of just, you know, subjective terms. Generally, when you have, I mean, well, the Namiki Falcon is called a soft nib. That's what the flex nib is it's called soft.
It's whether the nib bounces back from the flexing.
Well, personally, what I like to call soft is when I don't want to use the word flex, because lately, when I say the word flex, everybody thinks it's going to go hairline to 2 millimeters. That's flex.
Right.
That's not necessarily the case. When you have something that flexes, that basically means your nib tines are going to spread and you're going to get some line variation. Now, to what degree and to how much and how easily, that's all kind of subjective. You know, I would describe the Namiki Falcon as probably a semi-flex to a full flex.
It's springy.
It's what's more than just springy. Springy I view as something that has a little bit of bounce to it when you write, but it doesn't have a lot of line variation, like the Custom 74.
Mm-hmm.
That, I think, is springy, and I would call that one soft.
Semi-flex.
I would call the Namiki Falcon flexible, because you do get some significant line variation.
How much is the
Ria's asking, how much is the Falcon? The resin one, there's a resin one, and there's a metal one. The metal one is a lot more. And we don't actually carry the metal one because it's so expensive.
Is this the thing that I read off the wrong price?
Yeah, so we're going to look it up this time before we say what it is.
We sell it for $144. The list is $180 for the regular Falcon.
Yeah.
The metal is, I think, double or 100 more or something like that.
Would you call the VP springy? I actually haven't done a write test on the VP yet. I'm waiting to do that until I can film a first impression video of the black matte Vanishing Point that I showed last week.
Oh, by the way, we restocked on fine and medium of those pens today.
They were out of broad.
Out. Will we carry the Pilot Prera?
No,
it's not available in the U.S. It's only available from Pilot Japan. So anyone in the U.S. who has it is either getting it direct from Japan or is operating off of old stock.
Yep. That goes for the Prera, the Lucina, and the 78G.
Is the broad wet enough to match a Western broad?
On the what?
On the Falcon.
The Falcon or the VP? Because somebody's asking about the VP.
She was originally talking about the
Is the broad wet enough to match
Falcon.
a Western broad?
On the Falcon.
I haven't inked up the broad yet, but I would guess that it probably would, because the medium, I mean, is pretty. That's the medium. So
cover the name and the price and all that.
Okay, so there's a note I wrote to someone earlier. I don't know what you can really get from that. That's with the medium.
When are we getting the matte broad back in? This is the Vanishing Point. We're not sure, but Pilot is pretty amazing at shipping back-ordered stuff, so hoping soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, my video says 2 viewers too. That's weird. Oh, now it says 101. As soon as I said it, it bounced back.
Interesting.
That's odd. Okay.
I think the VPs are springy.
So look
I mean, the
for,
VPs have an are they 18 karat or 14 karat? I can't remember, or if it's different.
They're 18.
They're 18 karat. Yeah.
Look for a.
Generally speaking, 18 karat nibs tend to be a little bit on the springy side. That's why it's good to have 18 karat.
So look for a video on the Falcon, your first impression video. Look for that later in the week.
Yep.
I wanted to get to the meat of what we wanted to talk about tonight.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I mentioned in our little preview video, you may have noticed our clearance and our sale items have really jumped up. I think there's like 100 some items on clearance. And your view account isn't updating. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, the Goulet outlay, you'll notice the clearance and the sale items have increased. So, where to even start? So, for a couple of weeks now, we have been toying with the idea of moving to a warehouse. The bottom line is we are just simply maxed out of space for products, for employees, and we feel that would be very much limiting our growth and the products that we're able to carry and how much.
Mm-hmm.
So we started looking into it. We started pricing it out. We started really thinking about, right now we operate out of our home. This is our garage. You know, we have our home, our garage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have our employees here and everything. And, you know, we started really doing some soul searching and thinking about what does it really mean to move the business off-site, to have to commute to you know, to have to, why not open a store? The overhead is just killer, and we're not
our local economy can't support a pen store.
We're not in an area where it even makes sense, and frankly, we love the online business. So, you know, we start pricing it out, and we start thinking, okay, well, if we have these increased expenses, we need to do this much sales, and that means hiring this many people and keeping this much on hand, and the cost just, you know, started going through the roof when we really thought about it. But more importantly, we were really thinking about what that would do to our family life. We're hoping to have a second child, you know, in the next year or two, give Joseph a younger brother or sister. And, you know, Joseph's becoming a toddler, and he's getting everywhere, getting into everything, and, you know, it's a very precious time in his life. And I love getting to be home with him, and Brian is super involved, too. You know, I've
gotten to see every single milestone that Joseph's had in his life so far.
First time he's in a, you know, a straw, first time, everything. And, you know, he's very close to his first word, and it's going to be Dada. He's starting to say Dada last night. So, you know, Brian's very involved. You know, we're looking at having another kid and all this stuff, and what it would mean if we moved off site. And, you know, we realized that that's not our vision. You know, we could grow this. We could do it for financial reasons. We could be a multi-million-dollar organization if we really wanted to be, but in our heart of hearts, we don't. We love having the small feel, the mom-and-pop business. We love doing this and being in touch with you and getting to know you, you know, and having it be manageable, being at home. Yeah, they are little wants. Now, yeah, someone mentioned house edition. Well, here's the thing. Our house is a little small, too, so I think we would be looking at moving in a couple years anyway for personal reasons. The garage, the way our land is laid out, it's just really not an option to build on, and for what it would cost and what we would gain, not really worth it. So we're hoping to move, you know, build a bigger space in a couple years, you know, if that's our goal.
Yeah.
But basically what we decided to do, and frankly that costs a lot of money for additions, too, that we don't really have right now. So we looked at our numbers, we looked at how quickly the products were moving, because anything that's just sitting on our shelves is taking up space that we really could use for more popular items.
Yeah, or new products that
that we'd want to carry.
Like we've got Platinum Mix Free that's going to be coming in a month or so, or something like that,
like
and we're like, I don't know where we're going to put it.
The new Rhodia, the Dot Webbies, and the Premium Notepads, like, I don't have a shelf for these, like. And we're seriously at the point everything's on top, and we have new employees, and we're trying to train them, and they don't know where things are, and because we keep having to move it, and
yeah, it's kind of
we're just like flat out of space. So we looked at our numbers, and we looked at what stuff was popular, what was not, and so we identified a whole slew of items that we are essentially discontinuing. Those are what you see in our clearance section. So these are items that, like for example, we looked at the Clairefontaine notebooks, and there are so many similar notebooks. You know, two different staple bound A5 lines that are maybe like a half-inch difference in size. Like, why are we carrying both of these, when they're not, we have to order certain quantities and they sit on the shelf. And so, and the Aspen leather and some other things like that, the pearlescent wax, things that just weren't selling as well as we hoped they would. And early on, we just kind of bought everything because we were taking the chance and we thought things would do well, and maybe they did at first, and then as we carried new things, they dropped off. So what you see in the clearance is discontinued. We will not be carrying them regularly. However, that being said, if you are in love with any of those products and you want them, we're happy to special order them for you. We only ask that you help meet our minimum quantities. And I'll probably be setting up a page on the website that'll list out all the possible options for XClair. It's anything in their catalog. For any of the brands we carry, it's anything that's imported regularly into the U.S. So it saddens us to drop products. We pride ourselves on carrying the full line of everything, but not all the unplugged, just some of the colors. The black and tan do so much better than the red and green, so. And
we can still order them.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll still special order them, and for those, the minimum quantities are really low.
Amazon fulfillment.
Don't get us started on Amazon.
No, that will not happen.
So that's where it is. We're basically trying to free up some cash and to be able to carry products that do sell better, and have room for new products and room to grow. I think we're going to chill out on the growth a little bit. We acquired so many brands, so many products so quickly that we haven't had a chance to get to know the products. And I feel like if we don't know what we sell, we can't offer a good service to you. So, did I cover everything pretty much?
Pretty much. I mean, just to give you guys an idea, we won't talk too much in numbers, but we are doing about 15 times the volume that we were this time last year.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's kind of crazy.
Even like double over, 4 months ago.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
So I mean, it's been great, and we can manage it.
We're trying to find a way to handle it, yeah.
We can manage it. We're not like about to spin out of control or anything, but it's more just, well, I've been reading a lot of books, and I'm pretty business savvy, and I've got a good head about me about where we could go. And what we could do, and it's not a matter of
take it to the next level. I know we could, that's not our heart's desire.
Yeah, I mean, we could take this thing really big, but we're also really young. We're 26 right now.
You're almost 27.
I'm almost 20. You're almost 27.
I know, he's only 17 days older than me.
I'll be 27 at the end of the month. We've got time to take this thing big if we really want to. But we've got a young family, and we've had friends that have had recent tragedies with miscarriages and things like that, and it really gets us thinking, like, geez, this really is a precious time, and we really do enjoy where the business is right now. That we are being successful at it, and we love the products we carry.
We have help so that we can have our weekends. But we took our first weekend off in a while, and we got caught up on packages by the end of Monday, and that felt really good.
Well, not only that, but we still get to see every single package that we pack up.
Oh yeah, don't worry, he's still involved in every single package.
Oh yeah, don't worry about that. You just when you get your packages if I've had anything to do with them. But it's the last thing I want to do is just sit in an office and look at numbers all day, or look at potential products that we could carry and say, oh well, can we sell it enough to justify the trouble? I don't want to be all corporate and have to think all like a corporate person about the decisions that we make. I want to have my hands in it and be in the trenches and doing stuff like this and talking to people on blogs and forums and stuff like that.
Yeah, glad we're not abandoning you for money. That's a lot of it too. Is we love this. We love writing notes on all the invoices, and I do all the accounting, and I get to see who's who, and I love doing all the web work and everything. Takes you a while to get the packages over.
Yeah, I'm kind of notorious for the way that I pack. But I'm not going to stop doing that,
No, anyone we trains, like our person we have now is like 5 or 6 weeks till like of training under him to get things.
And
to
even then,
factory.
I'm side by side,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
watching every package.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
and we kind of trade off, and so, you know.
And find little ways like the blue shrink wrap and things to make it more fun too.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, you know, we don't want to give it up. We're both of us are workers. We like working. We like doing things, not overseeing people do things.
But most importantly, we love being home, and like money is just not our desire. We just want to have enough to cover our bills. You know, save up savings and a buffer and things like that. Take care of Joseph and, you know, future children, and just be a really tight knit family. You know, that's our priority, is just being a family.
Yeah. So, I mean,
reading all the comments here too.
Yeah, like doing the handwritten notes. Okay, we do somewhat brief notes now, a couple of sentences here and there.
Not like we used to with the wax seal.
But if we doubled or tripled or quadrupled our volume from now, I don't think we could keep up with notes. So we'd have to cut notes, and you know, I don't want to have to do that.
Yeah.
I really don't, because it just shows that we are involved with every single step of the way.
Well, it's an excuse for us to try out inks and pens and things like that. That's where I do most of my writing, is the invoices and, you know, getting it.
Which is plenty of writing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
So it's been a tough decision for us, because honestly, you know,
products.
well, we had a bit. Well, the Goulet Pen Company before was a pen making company.
Yeah.
And we
dropped that.
And we worked our butts off, and we're never able to quite make that work. So we're not used to having the option of going several different routes. We're used to having to scrounge just to get by and make something work. But now that we have the option, okay, we can either keep it kind of the way it is, or grow it big, or keep it the way it is and then grow it big down the road. You know, I'm still open to growing it big.
But I don't want to try to grow so big so fast, and the economy the way it is now, you just never know. You never know what our government's going to do next. That's going to change the tax laws. That's going to totally ruin our. You never know. And I would hate to get in a position where we're dependent on certain dollar amounts and then get trapped and then can't keep up with the growth and then collapse on ourselves.
Yeah.
You know.
And honestly, it's you know, as we grow, it's harder and harder to maintain the small feel, to maintain the personal connection, the intimacy,
I want to know the products.
The knowledge of the products, you know, because what it is we sat down and we started running some numbers and saying, okay, well, we you know, we get a warehouse space. Well, to get a warehouse space, that's several $1,000s of rent every month that you got to come up with.
And you have to furnish it.
So you got to furnish it. You got utilities. You got internet. You got phone, heating,
cooling. We're
gonna need
to get a second Aztec.
Security system. Yeah, a second car. Yeah, exactly. You got commuting costs, gas, all these expenses.
2 internet expenses, 2 phone expenses. Yeah, gas, commuting, food, all that. And
absolutely.
And most importantly, the fact that you would be out of the home and I would be here, and we wouldn't get to see each other, and you would not be as involved in our children's lives.
Like we're doing the right time right now. We're doing this at 9 o'clock at night right now. Well, it's almost 10 o'clock. You know, where would we be doing this? In our house at 10 o'clock? But then we wouldn't have products to pull off the you know, it kind of changed things. I guess that's how we would have done it, but, you know, we wouldn't be staying at the office until 10 o'clock at night, you know. But it's like, you know, we ran the numbers, and it's not just getting a rent and getting a warehouse. It's then, you know, how do you come up with that extra money to pay for all that stuff? Well, to do that, you got to sell more. And to sell more, you got to have more money to buy more products, and to sell the products, to handle the workload, you got to hire more employees. And then it's changing. A pod, yeah. Well, that's.
I would do that as a transition to moving. No,
those aren't cheap either.
But like we said, our goal is like maybe by the time we're 30. We've had a dream for years of building our own modular home, and I would love to build a home that meets our personal needs. You know, to have, you know, however many children we decide to have, and have like a giant walkout basement that houses our business or something like that. Like, that would be my dream, is get a nice piece of land and build our dream home, and you know, we can work towards that. Just the key to working towards that is to not have products that are just sitting on the shelf taking up space, instead of products that, you know, sell more quickly. Second Aztec, come on, don't bash the Aztec. It's awesome.
I would buy another one. I would.
Yes. Anyway, yeah, opening a pen store, like a retail, is certainly not an option. And frankly, I just don't see that as the way of the future. I think a lot of, I mentioned this on FPN, is there are some manufacturers, some supplier, you know, like Mont Blanc, for example, who will only, you have to have a physical store in order to carry their products. Mm-hmm. I really believe that's going to be a thing of the past. It has to be a thing of the past. I look at other people with physical stores, and they're struggling, and because you're so tied to that local economy.
Yeah.
Rather than I can't even count how many countries we've sold products in.
Well, the responsiveness that we have, based on what we're doing, and we're a very small operation here. I mean,
This is
we
it.
we only divulge so much because we know that we have competitors of ours that watch our broadcasts and things, and we don't want to go giving away
That's why we
proprietary
haven't given a
secrets.
tour of our workshop in a while.
Yeah, we don't want to go giving away a lot of our trade secrets here because we've worked hard to build what we have. But I will say that we do an amazingly efficient amount of work for the manpower that we have. And so exactly. Small equals agile. We're incredibly
we're flexible.
agile.
We can change and say, oh, this new product came out. Oh, this isn't doing. All right, let's just change it.
And it's just, the more I was trying to mentally visualize what our life would be like going to the next level, if you want to call it that. Taking it to a warehouse, going big. We definitely could.
We have the skills. We have the drive. We could do it, but the cost in all those different aspects to us is, our dream was for both of us to be able to work from home together. I thought maybe by the time we had our second kid we could do it. I had no idea it would happen this past fall.
That's something I meant to bring up earlier, was like, well, I'll share with you guys.
What do you do when you accomplish your dream?
Well, I'll give you guys kind of a background. Okay, I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. My father was, a real smart guy, real kind of a go-getter, and worked his way up kind of in the corporate scene. He worked for a $2 billion retail company back in the early 1980s, and he was the head of their IT department, had 150 people under him at age 30 or something like that. He was this, hot shot. And I have an older sister, and I was maybe 1 at the time, and my dad was working 80, 90 hours a week and wasn't seeing his kids. So he decided to up and leave all of that and start a business at home with my mom, and they were in graphic design and didn't know anything about it, and just kind of like started it on a whim.
I still don't understand why they chose that.
I still don't know exactly how they did what they did, but they just did it through sheer hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, and they worked like 18-hour days, but they worked in the house. So the first 10 or 11 years of my life, I worked in, I lived in the house, and my parents worked and had a business out of the house, and as a kid, for me, it gave me a lot of opportunities to work, and I was basically raised, not all the time, it's not like I was child labor or anything like that.
Pennies for stapling invoices to envelopes.
Yeah, but my parents taught me business. They taught me about money and how to run a business and how to work, and if you work and you earn money and save money, you can buy things when you want them, and toys and stuff like that.
Pretend check accounts, and like he would get paid and he would have to save up and buy
toys.
Like
my parents printed up like little fake checks to the bank of mom and dad, and from the age of 4, I was stapling invoices to manila folders, earning a penny a piece.
Or putting seeds in envelopes or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever little things that I could handle at the age, that's what I did. And my parents, I had like birthdays and Christmas and stuff, but just regular toys and things like that I wanted to buy, I purchased them with the money that I earned from taking out the trash and mowing the lawn and all of these things. So, my parents always paid me for the work that I did, but they always made sure that I did it responsibly and learned how to, manage money and things like that.
They made you save like half of everything you earned.
Exactly, and that's part of how I was able to pay my way through college and everything, was through the money I'd saved and all that. So it's I was trained from a very early age to do that, and I'm trying to visualize, like, in my head, okay, if we take our business to the next level, to a warehouse, to a whatever, that is different, than the way I grew up. I always liked the way that I grew up.
Wayne, you make a really good point. You said it's your biggest issue with most new money parents. They want their kids to have everything, and they don't teach them anything about money. That's exactly true of like our whole generation and everyone we know. I want Joseph, and that's part of why we're considering homeschooling. We're considering things like that. Is I want him to learn those things. I want him to appreciate a dollar. I don't want to be rolling in all this money, because when you earn more, you have that much more stress, that much more responsibility of being a good steward of that money, and so I want him to, I want to cover our bases and, be nice to take a vacation once a year, things like that. But, I really don't have a desire for wealth. I just,
well, we're not trying to take over the world. If we need more employees,
have more kids. Yeah. We're working on that.
That's why I have such a big family tree, because I have a family history of farmers, so they had tons and tons of kids.
Well, your grandfather alone was one of 18.
One of 18, yeah.
These are the French Canadian Catholics.
French Canadian potato farmers. They just had more and more kids to fund the farm, I guess. So.
Doing what you love makes you rich.
Well, and see, that's
We sound
interesting.
like-
It's like, I mean, Gary Vaynerchuk is a huge inspiration for me, and
We're
has
not
helped
Mormons.
has helped me to. Gary Vaynerchuk has helped me to kind of solidify what we needed to do in terms of the way that we interact with customers and the way that we have broadcasts like this was a direct idea from him. So, you know, I look to him as kind of like a guidepost, I guess. But his aspiration is he wants to own the New York Jets, which he needs probably, what, $400 million to do
I
that?
don't know.
And okay, that's fine. That's his goal. He wants to take over the world or whatever, you know. But me, it's like my big grand long-term vision was to have a business where both of us could get paid from it. That was like our grand vision, and we achieved that, you know, like 6 months ago. And so it's like,
Yeah.
well, now what? What do you do when you achieve like
Have more
your
kids.
your dream? Well, I mean, yeah, I mean to have
Yeah,
kids
well,
and have
we
a
have-
family and
you know, we
work
wanna-
and do work you love and work hard and work.
Maximize
Yeah.
the efficiency of the space. You know, try to get it as much as we can. You know, within what we have.
Yeah.
You know, and it's awesome. You know, we have 2 employees. Like, we're giving them jobs. Like, you know, one of them, a high schooler, is like, no one's hiring around here. Like, grocery stores, movie theaters, like nothing. You couldn't find anything. So even just a couple hours a week he works, like, you know, like we're helping people just by giving them a job that they didn't have a chance for otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty
Yeah.
much in a nutshell.
So now our new dream is to have more kids and raise our kids
and to build our dream home and
yeah,
and to be able to have a bigger state. You know, we can keep growing the business organically.
knocking the Aztec now.
Oh, come on. Our Aztec is awesome, and you know it. You're just jealous because they don't make them anymore.
You're just jealous because you don't have one. That's all.
No, but, I mean, seriously, it's just, for us, this is all about family, and we want to keep a family feel to our business. And, you know, I don't want to be this big corporation where you never even know anything about the people behind it. And it's like, and if that's what you want, if you want to be, you know, shop from the Walmarts and the Amazons, then that's fine. You know, you can get a good deal, you can get the products, but if you want the whole experience, that's what we feel we have to offer.
Yeah.
And we're getting our weekends back, and that's good.
Yeah, that's a goal, is to not work 100 hours a week. That'd be a good goal. So I don't want you guys to think that we're just like living the life and it's easy and all that stuff. No, it's we love the work we do, but we work dang hard at it, which is why we've had the success. Is we've always just worked incredibly dog hard, but now we've struck on something that's actually kind of paying off for the work that we've put in. I mean, hard work is just like a requirement, you know, if you want to have your own business. It's like you're going to work hard and you're going to work long hours, period. You know, and then the degree of success you have on top of that is the innovation and a lot of other factors that go into it that you do.
If you do what you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life.
Yep, that's sort of true, except around tax time. That always kind of seems like work.
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah. So at this point, our goal is really just to do things like this broadcast. You know, we're going to try. I mean, don't get me wrong, when we expand into new products and carry new stuff, it's really exciting for us, and we love doing it. We're going to have to kind of watch out ourselves. You know, what we'll have to do if we're going to carry new products, we may have to drop off some of the ones that aren't selling so well. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see how it turns out.
Anything that we drop that you want ongoing, after obviously you pick it up at the clearance prices and everything, we'll special order. Gilalo is another one of those things.